Have you ever asked, why can't I afford a house? You're not alone. Even in cities with booming economies and rising wages, housing has become extraordinarily expensive relative to income. In fact, a global study of 95 major cities found none of them remain affordable by conventional standards. Today, we unpack the economics behind this crisis and the structural forces that have made homeownership out of reach for millions. In economic terms, housing affordability is usually measured by comparing house prices to median household income. When prices rise much faster than income, affordability deteriorates. The global data shows that this has happened in virtually every major urban market. This isn't about a temporary price bump. It's a structural shift. And understanding it requires looking beyond simple supply shortages. One of the central dynamics driving housing prices is the expansion of credit. Banks don't lend existing money, they create new money when they issue mortgages. This means that as demand for mortgages increases, more credit enters the economy. That credit often bids up existing home prices rather than financing new construction. This creates a feedback loop. Higher prices drive more borrowing, and more borrowing drives higher prices. This effect is a departure from the classic economic model where prices tend to stabilize as supply adjusts to meet demand. With housing, the financial system itself has become a price driver. Another part of the story is the imbalanced relationship between supply and demand. While it is true that in many cities housing construction has not kept pace with population and household growth, this alone does not explain the scale of price increases. In some markets, restrictive land use policies, zoning laws, and community resistance to higher density play a significant role, but economists also highlight that housing has increasingly become a financial asset, attracting investment flows that prioritize price appreciation over utility as shelter. Monetary policy has also played a central role. Decades of low interest rates have made borrowing cheaper, encouraging both households and investors to take on larger mortgages. At the same time, policies that favor homeownership, like tax advantages on mortgage interest and capital gains exemptions for primary residences, enhance the financial attractiveness of housing compared to other investments. These incentives push up demand and ultimately prices. Meanwhile, median wages in many advanced economies have stagnated relative to productivity and asset price inflation. When incomes grow slowly but asset prices rise quickly, affordability worsens because the ratio of price to income escalates. This makes it harder for households to save for a down payment or qualify for mortgage financing without taking on disproportionate debt burdens. So why can't you afford a house? The answer is a complex interplay of financial market expansion, structural supply-demand imbalances, policy incentives, and income dynamics. It's not just a local problem, it's a global economic phenomenon. And unless there are systemic changes in how we finance housing, regulate markets, and coordinate land use and credit policy, this affordability gap may continue for years to come.